What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Let's talk a little New Orleans Saints. Look, I know we touched on this last week. Certainly we talked to Ross about it as well. And it is shocking, right? But maybe you heard Foster Moreau signed that deal with New Orleans last week. As we said, it's a deal that makes sense from every aspect. The basic human empathy aspect, the actual fan aspect, the actual X's and O's aspect, where he seems to be kind of the final puzzle piece of an offense, Jake, that we're feeling pretty bullish on. Cannon was in town for the baptism yesterday, and he's out here talking double-digit wins. Like the old man's fired up.
I would have loved to hear that, actually.
Yeah, the nation's fired up, dude. But and one of the reasons why is because they do look like they have very good offense. And as I said, Foster looks like the final piece. Well, in case you missed it, even though he is battling Hodgkin's lymphoma right now, he could compete in OTAs, which is pretty wild to think about.
Insane.
It'll be yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, not to cut you off, but it was, expected, man, he's going to take some time off. And you understood it, and he was going to fight. And it's like, but we know Foster. We know he's going to fight. And, like, if anybody's going to beat it, it's Foster. But it's like, no, like, I'm going to fight it, and I'm going to be in OTAs. Like, I was thinking, like, get on the field next year. Like, when we initially heard this.
100%.
But, I mean, gosh, and I know our audience knows Foster, but, like, on a personal level, he is, like, when you tell that man he's not going to be able to do something, it's more than any human I've ever seen. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it faster than anybody thinks I can do it.
Well, and also how you know you're built different is when you're fighting back for OTAs. Normally that's something that the salty vets want no part of, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like chill, you swipe your card when you can.
He didn't have that in him.
This man is battling through cancer to get back to the portion of the offseason that nobody actually wants to do.
Like real talk.
Like it is. That's how you know you have just an insane competitive drive. And like Jake said, that's like indicative and representative of why he's gotten to where he's been, being the last member of the class, drafted late, and now signing a $12 million deal.
I mean, to Mario's point, Adam Troutman was somebody that I was very excited about in the third round. I had watched him play in college and kind of his growth from quarterback when he first got to college to tight end. And there were some nice moments in line blocking for sure. But a huge upgrade, to Mario's point.
Yes.
Foster Moreau, Adam Troutman, and now you understand the plan. Because the day you were out the Monday coming back from the draft,
yes.
And we were all like, you don't draft a tight end. Here's who you have in that room. Well, the Saints had this planned all along. We just did not know that it was going to be accelerated like this, and Foster was going to be a part of the team, and now trying to get ready for OTAs.
So we'll keep an eye on that, and it'll simply be a medical diagnosis. It'll just be whether or not the doctors deem it a good idea to do it or not. But what's crazy is Daniel Sound was on the Rich Eisen show talking about this, and he was asked about Mike Thomas, and he said the vision for Thomas is to have him ready for training camp, and then he said that Thomas had some hardware taken out of his foot a week or a week and a half ago. Jake, he was on the Rich Eisen show yesterday. So they've obfuscated all information around Mike Thomas. We've never actually known what's really going on, but this man still had hardware in his foot a week ago and just got removed.
I just don't understand why it would still be in there.
I'm not.
And why you didn't get it removed earlier. Like anybody that's ever had hardware in their foot,
like as soon as 6-week deal at most or something.
Yeah,
I thought.
Like I've had some issues with the top of my foot, broken bones and stuff, and that comes out. I just don't know why. And it kind of goes back to last offseason. I forget what it was, but it's like, wait, why'd you wait so long to do?
Yeah, that he had the ankle where he tried to, he got the opinion that he needed surgery.
That's what it was. Yeah, and then he waited, and he finally has it.
Right when the season started.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. He's a hell of a football player. And he just helps your team so much, changes the dynamic of your team. But, like, it's another thing. It's like, okay, why the wait? Because we're in May, right? That could have been done when's the last time he played? September?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because it's like, I mean.
Unless that hardware was supposed to stay in their tee and it just continued to cause problems. But I would assume that those problems haven't started in May. I'm sure in December those problems were still there.
I'm sure that there's or I'm not sure, but I would imagine there's a reasonable medical explanation for this. Like it's a piece of hardware that had to stay in longer given the nature of the injury, blah, blah. I don't know what it is. But I don't think and this is not one-to-one, but it's impossible to kind of avoid these stories when they're bumping up against each other like this. It is crazy to see Foster fighting through cancer to get back for OTAs, and you're just hoping that Mike Thomas can be available for the start of the season for an injury that happened years ago.
If he's not out there the first day of training camp, full go, I
don't know if I'd be full go first day. I mean, I don't know if I get my hopes up for that.
You missed. He played one game, right, Mario?
He played 3 games, I believe. The last one was Carolina, week 3, I think.
Felt like the first game because that was a game him against the Falcons. Okay, 3 games. As someone that would be out there with him as a teammate, certainly a veteran player, if he wasn't out there the first day of training camp, like that would be a full issue. Yeah. Because there's going to be someone on that field that probably had like ACL surgery after him is going to be out there first day of training camp. Yeah. Like that would be a real problem. Like you would have to explain to me exactly what happened, your process, why you're not out there. And I have played with outstanding human beings, outstanding humans. But when training camp came, they would find something. It's the back, it's the hammy, it's the ankle, it's the whatever. And they had missed time the year before. And I know my roster spot was different on the field. Look, I know I had to be out there. Like there was no training room for me. So I understand that, okay? Everybody's in a different position.
Swipe that card.
But like we signed a guy named Jared Gaither in San Diego. And he came in the year before, and Marcus McNeil was a holdout. And I understood why Marcus was holding out. He needed way more money. But he was holding out. We signed Gaither. Gaither played really well. He was a guy, I believe he's out of Maryland. He was a physical freak. I mean, just tall, lean, could run as the left tackle. And they gave that man the bag, right? He shows up. He's got a Bentley in the parking lot. And you're like, all right, man, he's about to explode. Big year for Jared Gaither.
He's about to chill.
He never practiced again.
Hell yeah.
Not played. He didn't practice.
That's the dream.
They gave him like a 3-year deal.
And how many million did you got out of it?
I'll have to look it up. I mean, it was enough to buy a Bentley and feel good about it.
Hell yeah.
So they couldn't find anything wrong with him, T. He kept saying, my back. And they were like, we've x-rayed, we've CT'd, we've done everything, right? MRIs. We can't see anything that is wrong with your back. And he just never went out there again. And the guaranteed portion of his contract, he gets it. So, and Jared was a good dude. Like, I enjoyed talking to him. Legend. But there's just some people, like, it's like for me, I mean, I'm like my skin itches and I get chills thinking about
I was like,
doing something like that and not going out there and just not being a part of my team. Everybody's DNA is a little bit different. I could not imagine sitting in that training room. They can't find anything. I got a Bentley in the parking lot, and my teammates, and that money's against the cap. We can't bring anybody in to replace you, and they're just sitting there waiting on me, and I never show up.
Back pain's a hell of a thing, dude.
Yeah, I got it all the time, and you got to find a way.
Yeah, it's mysterious, dude. You never know. He didn't want to put his future at risk, Shout out, give it to him. It's like Mo Vaughn back in the day getting that $100 million contract, and then he played like 13 games for the Mets.
Mo Vaughn. I saw Mo Vaughn. What's the mall right there in the Riverwalk? Is that what it's called?
Riverwalk.
I saw him in there in New Orleans randomly.
What?
And he had on diamond earrings, huge diamond earrings. They were. I mean, I was a young fella. And the laces in the diamonds, so it was a baseball, like a huge diamond, were rubies.
Hell yeah.
It was a baseball, diamonds with rubies as baseball, and I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Those cost a pretty penny, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. Probably after the contract.
$100 million contract. He's gold, fully guaranteed.
I don't know why he was in New Orleans.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.